Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 151, Camping Plant. It's going quite well. Naofumi. Right. For me to make this much progress in just 2 days, could I possibly be a genius? Rat. Naofumi-sama, Raphatalia. It's been 2 days since then. Raphatalia is facing me with a serious face. I think I overdid it as well. I had tried to modify the bioplant with Rat's help. Because of this, quite a few people are watching our work. Having a specialist really helps. Rat has already been registered as one of my slaves. I have set the crest to punish her if she tries to lie to me. The punishment has been set to the highest level. Based on the severity of her actions, she may die. I can't be negligent. Though for now, she seems to be satisfied while being immersed in research. The real work starts from here on out. First, I modified a bioplant seed to be more like the original monstrous variety in order to grant it sentience, and registered it as a monster under my control. I handed it over to Rat for research purposes. Rat takes out some complex machinery and begins to perform further modifications on the plant. There was the danger that it may have been able to break the seal, as Phiro did, but this time it was a success. As we plant the seed, the bioplant begins to come to life and move as commanded. The bioplant we tried to make today was one that would be able to act as a house. We'll be getting more slaves soon, so it would be useful if we could speed up the building process. Which is why we began working on this interesting project. The experiment was a success. As long as we issued the order, the bioplant would take the shape of a house. The new creation was dubbed Camping Plant. Rat went off and arbitrarily named it on her own. I don't really care, so I'll leave the name as is. Flowers bloom to form an effective roof, and as long as we give a specific layout, the plant can take on the form of any building. The flowers absorb light during the day, and can emit magic light at night if needed. The slaves had high adaptability, so they readily moved into the dangerous-looking house. I planned to use them for temporary lodging, but Keel enthusiastically claimed the house as her own. So I guess it is what it is. Are you sure you want the house of your dreams to be one built so easily? A strength of these houses is that they can be easily cleared with herbicide and rebuilt if they got in the way. This makes them exceedingly easy to manage. And Raphatalia is currently questioning me on the influx of greenhouses in the village. I'm sorry. Naofumi. About what? Raphatalia. The village you lived in now looks like the dwelling of an evil sorcerer. Naofumi. Well, there's nothing we can do about that. I understand. I just thought that you were trusting Rat too easily. Raphatalia. I think she's the one trusting me way too easily. Naofumi. She had been staring at me intently while I modified the plant. I thought that our methods of modification were the same, but it seems that she has taken a great interest in my general modification method. I think she called it groundbreaking or something. TL, as in how he can change entire attributes without taking the steps leading up to that into account. Even if you say it's groundbreaking, it's the shield's capabilities, so I can't really help her on that. It seems I can only make general modifications, so I have to leave the finer details to Rat. The next thing to work on is a plant to produce medicine. It seems that this will be quite difficult. Up till now I have made no progress in this field. By the way, the prototype house we made was carnivorous. I continually cautioned Rat not to enter it, but Phiro and Tanako suddenly rushed in only to get eaten. Raphatalia and the rest had to cut it open and rescue them. The villagers have been eyeing me with strange looks since then. I also had Rat check the identity of the monster eggs we had collected. Additionally, she checked the growth of the monsters I had under my watch. I explained my monster user shield's growth correction ability, and she began examining the legendary shield with zeal. It seems that the monster user seal had awakened, but I didn't get any extra growth enhancements from it. I was hoping for something that would raise my monster's intelligence. I had heard that the hero of the shield's monsters had abnormal strength. So this was the cause. Rat. Probably. And I'm quite sure the other heroes should be able to unlock these abilities as well. Naofumi. It's not like I had this function from the beginning. The others should be able to unlock a slave series. And monster use series as well. It's even more likely that they will be able to get weapons that allow modification of plants like the bioplant. However, plants like this are hard to come across. I've only ever seen them in the bioplant's origin town, and this one. I won't claim to be an expert, but I've never heard of such abilities coming from the other heroes. Rat. I see. Naofumi. To put it bluntly, we don't get along. However, from what I've heard, the 7-star heroes are supposed to be good people. It seems that modifying monsters goes against the church. Such straight-laced heroes probably wouldn't delve into such subjects. I don't really want to trouble Rat further, and I honestly don't care, so I won't ask what sort of people they are. If you look at this village objectively, how many laws are we breaking? Now then, our food supply has become quite steady. The taste is also guaranteed, and it seems that Rat will be able to produce some variation in the fruits. I'm leaving the training of the monsters to the slaves, and my peddling enterprise will soon be able to start in earnest. The slaves have all passed level 30, so our fighting prowess isn't a problem either. In just a few days, we've made quite some progress. I was able to create a research lab so easily. This seed really is miraculous. Rat's lab, it is a large building made of camping plant. She had brought lab equipment with her from the start, so it seems that the lab is now usable. From the building, I can hear the screams of a monster. It's reminding me of a few science fiction stories. At that moment, I had a few doubts about letting her set up shop here. By the way, Tanako and Rat have become rivals in their treatment of monsters. Tanako believed that monsters should get strong through battle and experience, while Rat opted for strengthening them through modification. Their opinions often clashed. Due to their differing ideals, they often argued. It appears that they hate each other. However, Tanako's education is severely lacking, so most of the time it seems that Rat is just toying with her. Then I shall work on the bioplants until I get bored. After that, do you agree to assist me in my goals? Rat. Yeah, I also hold an interest in monster modification. Naofumi. If we have monsters that can stand on equal footing with those brought by the wave, then fighting will get a lot easier. I need to scrape a fighting force together no matter what, so modification may prove to be a useful asset. I learned from that incident with the spirit turtle that having more comrades is always useful. If they're strong, then even more so. It seems there was a balloon egg mixed in with the rest. No. It wasn't an egg. It seems that a hibernating balloon had been mistaken as an egg and carried off. According to Rat, balloons usually fly. They break off from a larger being called balloon legios, and can henceforth freely float in the sky. If you see a strangely colored object in the sky, it is probably a balloon legios. Though balloon legion rarely come to the ground, the numerous balloons born from come down. Quite often, they become completely independent after separating from the legios. After the balloon awakened, I quickly had a monster seal placed on it, and it is now my subordinate. As the balloon leveled up, it got bigger as if it were being inflated. I tied it to the carriage and attached a banner onto it. With this, it is connected to the carriage and will receive a portion of the EXP gained by Fyro, who is pulling it. The banner on it read Hero of the Shield's Peddling. Its monster name appears to be Ad Balloon. What sort of bad joke is this? It seems that Ad Balloon had previously been cared for by a human. I'm a bit afraid of a large floating balloon-shaped monster, but balloon is usually in English. In this line it is said in Japanese. Tanako readily mounted the balloon and rode it into the sky with both arms outstretched. Seriously? What valley did she crawl out of? It's really slow, but I guess I can assign it to guard duty. I hold balloons in high esteem. I haven't forgot my debt to them from when I first fought Motoyasu. You are hereby deemed test subject #1. Rat. Garu. Ad Balloon. Quiet. Naofumi. Perhaps due to the shield's influence, this monster seems to possess a higher level of intelligence than other balloons. Now then, I will be leaving for peddling. Naofumi. Understood. Raphatalia. Then I will be continuing with my research. If you need me, you can find me in my lab, Count. Rat. Count? That's right, I got a title. I had completely forgotten. I had heard that you were a count. Am I wrong? Rat. No, you're correct. Naofumi. Anyways, if you have any business, please stop over. Rat. Yes, yes. Oh, and remember that just because I'm not here doesn't mean you can cause trouble. Naofumi. I know. I won't do something that foolish. Rat. I wonder. Naofumi. I think about how to produce a medicine-generating bioplant as I call Phiro over. I get on the carriage. And set out for the neighboring village. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 152, Business. In the neighboring town, a magic, medicine, and clothing shop have now been built. They're still working from temporary stands, but business has already started. Ah, Hiro-sama, welcome. Magic shopkeeper. The magic shop's owner greets me. The building she is working out of obviously isn't as good as her previous shop, but I have been giving her some preferential treatment. I have high hopes for this town even though we have just started reconstruction efforts on it. How are you faring? Naofumi. I'm getting by. I think I will reopen the store in the castle town as well. Magic shopkeeper. So this will just be a branch location. Naofumi. Yeah. I'll work here until that store opens and I'll occasionally be teaching magic there. It seems you're doing something interesting there as well, right? Magic shopkeeper. The magic shopkeeper seems to have noticed the sudden change in my village. This kind of progress is certainly in itself worthy of being called magic. Humph, Naofumi. I think I can probably smell the medicine shop. Sometimes my gaze turns toward the village. We can research advanced medicine now that the medicine shop has begun taking care of it. I am looking forward to the results and would like to thank you for helping me since my schedule has become rather tight, Naofumi. I see, medicine shopkeeper. Now, where is the clothing shop? Naofumi. I wonder if I've made a mistake. I was under the impression I would be living in the hero's village. Tailor. Famo. I give the various monster materials I had gathered to the tailor. I had told her that I would give her various interesting materials. I think I can leave the sizing of the materials up to her. There has also been a lot of reconstruction happening here, Naofumi. Unlike my village, this one has a lot of manpower, so I see lots of progress every day. There seems to be a plan to rebuild the feudal lord's house. Currently the foundations have been erected, and they plan for it to be finished in 2 weeks. Sorry for many things, Naofumi. No problem. Most of the people here had a lot of free time on their hands anyways. Leader. I see, Naofumi. Instead of hating you, everyone is looking forward to your cooking. Is it really as tasty as they say? I, too, would like to partake in it at least once. Leader. I would occasionally come over and cook food to support their efforts, but has that become their motivation? The shield really does prepare good food. Well, good. Also, I won't be cooking again until I return from peddling. Naofumi. Okay, I'll pass on the message. Leader. Yes, yes, Naofumi. I shake his hand, and set out to start peddling in the next town. I am accompanied by Raphatalia, Phiro, and 2 other people. There is a need for me to increase my combat forces and I'm not sure if Rat will be able to produce results in the given time. On the second day of peddling, I arrived in a big town. Naofumi. There is a commotion going on involving a squadron of guards. I should probably ignore it, but why are these people getting off scot-free, while I have to be taken into custody? A familiar voice. When approaching, I stopped the carriage because the voice I heard sounded very familiar. I can't see through the crowd, so I ask someone nearby. What's happening? Naofumi. It seems that the hero of the sword helped capture a thief, but now he is being arrested. Crowd. Person. It's a story I have heard somewhere before. Aren't you the hero of the shield? Crowd person. So I have been noticed. Well, my carriage does stand out quite a bit, and Phiro is in her monster form. So this much is to be expected. The crowd are breaking and ringleader comes into view. There, I see a familiar group of thieves with smiling faces, and Ren being held down by some guards. I kinda understand the situation. Capturing thieves. Something similar happened to me before. There's no choice. I make my way through the crowd. Yo! Naofumi. Surprising them would be dangerous, so I call out from a distance. It's Naofumi, isn't it? Ren. Been a while. Naofumi. Ren looks happy upon seeing me. He waves his hand at me. But the person I was talking to was not Ren, but the leader of the thieves. As soon as the thieves see me, they begin to look pale. Well, they've already gone through this twice. This will be the third. These people, they should really learn to live honestly, maybe become mercenaries or something. You people really don't learn, do you? Did you really think that framing the person that apprehended you would really get you off so easily? Naofumi. Shut up. Thief. There's something I would like to test. They may be a little afraid of me, but I have something that gives them nightmares. Phiro, Naofumi. Yes. Phiro. Phiro come up by jumping over the crowd. The bandit's face became paler. Enjoy your meal. Naofumi. Yup, Phiro. It seems she will eat anything that is not a child. The thieves desperately face the guards and begin to beg to them. We are the culprits, please help. Bandits. They confessed. Is Phiro really that scary? Well, Rat did tell me that Philo Reals are supposedly very vicious, and this happens to be a queen. No, these people aren't thieves. The hero of the sword is mistaken. Naofumi. It seems the guards have yet to discover their hideout. These people have a bit of skill, and they're good at saving up money. I think I'll make them a source of income again. Naofumi. You too. Ren. I'm not saying you're at fault. Just be quiet for a second. I have an idea. Naofumi. We'll talk. We'll talk, so just keep that man's bird away from us. Bandits. Hey, master. Phiro feels that she is being hated, but did Phiro do something wrong? Phiro. I think that the fact that you'll eat anything other than a child is fundamentally wrong. Naofumi. Mew, Phiro. I can hear the crowd whispering. That holy bird eats people. Crowd. Not, I hear the hero of the shield is quite skilled at deceit. Crowd. Really? As I thought. I once saw the holy bird playing peacefully with children in the castle town. Crowd. That's good, Phiro. You haven't become a public symbol of fear. It's up to her whether she gets treated as a human or a monster. That's how it is. Those people once tried the same stunt with me when I had a notoriously bad reputation. Please make sure to wring them dry. Naofumi. What? Guards. The guards are taken aback. These people's bounties, will you give them to me? Naofumi. Why yes, but we haven't caught their leader. Guard. Hey, where's your base? Naofumi. Yes. Please bring out a map. Bandit. They're being quite cooperative. Phiro and Raphatalia, go catch the guys hiding there. Naofumi. Yup. Phiro. Understood. Raphatalia. I pass the map to Raphatalia and Fjall, and they set off. The rest of you, keep peddling, Naofumi. Yes, Anon slaves. I walk through the crowd towards my carriage. The hero of the shield handled the situation. Crowd. Amazing. He got the bandits to confess by himself. Crowd. He must be really strong. Crowd. Yeah. Crowd. For the love of. Even if they speak the truth, I don't really want unnecessary abilities tacked onto my reputation. Well, hasn't it been a long time, Ren, Naofumi? Ren. Ren slowly distances himself from me, while looking vigilant. Wait, ignoring that, I don't have any intention to catch you. I just want to hear your story. Naofumi. I see. Everyone I've met so far has been suspicious of me. I've even had random people throw stones at me. Ren. Ren answered defiantly. I think it's fine if it's only at that level. In my case, I was literally treated as the devil. The cause of all that was trash, bitch, and the three-hero church. For now, should we go to the tavern and talk? Naofumi. I take Ren to the tavern. I notice some people from the crowd follow us there, but I don't really care. I sat at the bar counter, and order a drink. Along with my drink, I am also given a real lucer fruit. The boss of the tavern looks at me with eyes full of expectation. There's no choice. I eat the fruit whole. The real one. Boss. Unbelievable, some guys. My identity has been confirmed by all. It's quite a strange identification test. It seems you've been through a lot. Naofumi. I talked to Ren without any ulterior motives. It seems that he's been alone and being chased without knowing the exact reason why. When I was alone, before I met Raphatalia and Phiro, the only thing I could think of was revenge. Yeah, the guild said they were no longer accepting heroes, I wasn't able to slay monsters freely anymore, and I couldn't claim bounties. Then, to top it all off, this had to happen. Ren. Self-proclaimed cool Ren began to angrily complain. But it's not like I don't see where he's coming from. So I began selling monster drops and began to live day by day. It got really annoying. Everyone I meet seems to turn on me. Why do I even have to defend this crappy world? Ren. That's just how humans are. When I was called the Devil of the Shield, I was treated the same way. No, I was treated worse than you know. Naofumi. I see, Ren. First, let me ask. Were you involved in Spirit Turtle incident? Naofumi. Now that I think about it, his party members are nowhere to be seen. Did they run away on him? Well, I think they'll do just fine without him though. If he's been cut off, he can't really complain. No, that's, Ren. Ren suddenly begins stumbling over his words. So you're going to avoid the topic? Naofumi. No, it's not, Ren. As usually this guy. His insociability is getting on my nerves. I have some grudges against this person, but he has done me enough favors to balance it out. I am still thankful for that time during the failed attempt to kill Melty. I'll listen to what you have to say, just as you did for me. I always make sure to return a favor. Naofumi. Ren. Ren, if you don't say it, your position will become worse. You'll become the next demon of the shield. Naofumi. I understand. I'll tell you my story. Ren. Ren sighs, and begins to speak. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero chapter 153, even though you already understand. Ren and his comrades successfully cleared the wave of another country, and then headed to the town the Spirit Turtle was sleeping in to search for greater strength. He's exactly the same as Motoyasu, or so I want to retort. According to Ren, the Spirit Turtle was going to be the mastermind behind an even greater calamity. So it was best to kill him off early. In the near future, a plague would have struck that land. The people would fall one after the other. And the cause of that would be the Spirit Turtle. He would manipulate their corpses and create an undead army with his powers of mind control. Rem. Apparently, in the games Ren played, if he didn't act fast, a large calamity would befall this land. This event was big enough in scale to cause the fall of nations and the formation of several counter-measure organizations. That's why Ren's main goal was the prevention of this disaster. The boss was supposed to be beatable at level 60. Since Ren was over 80, he thought it wouldn't be difficult. It's the same as with Motoyasu. Can I ask something? Naofumi. What is it? Ren. I interrupt Ren. In your net game, were you able to visit that area before? Or was it a new area that became unlocked with the event? Naofumi. Let's see. I think it happened in Update, Episode 7, The Assault of the Spirit Turtle. Before that, it was a normal town and hunting ground. But after the update, you needed permission to enter the area. I read it on the internet. Ren. Update, Episode 7? The blue hourglass in the turtle read 7, but, it's a coincidence, right? Please continue. Naofumi. Yeah. Ren. The reason he acted without the country's consent was that in the game he played, the turtle's mind control was affecting the actions of the leaders of countries as well. It seems that it was being treated as a sort of quest. And that's why negotiations were pointless. My head hurts. If you were under the assumption that the country's leader was being brainwashed, why the hell didn't you actually go check? Like Motoyasu, Ren infiltrated a temple slightly outside of the village. Ren-sama, are you sure we should be doing this? Ren party. What are you talking about? The monster sleeping here has already infiltrated the upper echelon of government. Sitting around and waiting for negotiations to finish is pointless. Ren. Oi, you people! Name yourselves! Monk! As he was about to destroy the Buddhist statue that would awaken the turtle, a group of monks surrounded him. Because they had appeared in the basement of an abandoned temple, Ren was able to conclude that they were under the turtle's influence. He hurries to destroy the statue. Please stall them. For the people who still have their sanity, we must press onwards. Ren. Yes. Ren party plural. Ren's comrades assist in the destruction of the statue. How could you? That was a priceless historic, monk. The monks shout out. They raise their weapons. I thought he had done the same as Motoyasu, but it seems all he did was destroy a priceless artifact. Well. It was probably a memento of the past 4 heroes or 7-star heroes. I don't really know this world's history, so I can't say what would be valuable or not. Mew. That sword. Could you be the hero of the sword? Monk. If you already know, then I guess there's no harm in telling you. I'm the hero of the sword, and I have come to vanquish the darkness that sleeps beneath these lands. Ren. As they were saying that, the ground begins to rumble beneath them. Okay. The spirit turtle has shown itself. Let's go. Ren. Ren carefully knocks the monks out and runs in the direction of the rumbling sound. It's big. Can we really fight something that large? Ren party. We can win. We have become strong. Ren. With confidence, Ren rushes towards the turtle. While closing in, he thought he saw someone use a skill on the head, but he just assumed it was one of the adventurers fighting it. Thinking that this world's adventurers wouldn't be enough, Ren raises his sword towards the turtle. Handlet sword. Ren. It's a skill that takes a while to activate. He stacks on another attack. Thunder blade. Ren. But the spirit turtle is largely unaffected. What happened afterwards was just like with Motoyasu, so I'll abridge it. Ren feels something is off, but he keeps fighting. Without giving up, he fights for the people in danger of the beast. And when he was aware of his situation, the spirit turtle was already walking away without paying him any mind. Ren was surrounded by corpses, the bodies of his comrades. They were cruelly mangled bodies. Destroyed so badly even Ren couldn't identify them. The only thing he could understand was that his party members were all dead. What the hell is this? It's a lie. All of them were over level 80, yet, Ren's brain could not comprehend the events that had just happened. And Ren's mind shut down for a period of time. He prayed for the slight chance that, like a game, he would be able to revive them. But no gods would hear his wish, and Ren understood that from the beginning. After that, Ren rushed through the swarm of spirit turtle familiars, and tried to save as many people as he could, but he eventually lost consciousness. When he regained consciousness, the spirit turtle's reign of terror had already ended. I lost because they were weak. And because they were weak they died. If only we had worked together more, then winning would have been easy. Ren. He's in complete denial. There's no helping him. His companions must be turning in their graves. I'm not at fault. They were weaker than I had ever imagined. I'm not wrong. I'm not. Ren. And he's running from his own crimes. I don't even need to pity this one. However, a kind word isn't what he needs right now. You are wrong. Don't think this will always be a game. What you did was clearly rash, and even your comrades saw that. Naofumi. What? Ren. Ren looks at me angrily. If that's all you can say about the people who trusted in you and followed you to the end, then you don't only fail as a hero. You fail as a human being, Naofumi. If you went to me for warm words, then you're very mistaken. Saying that you're not at fault. This one. Just as I thought, the only thing he ever did was act as a selfish guild leader. He fought an enemy out of his league, and as a result his party was annihilated. And in the end, he blamed them for being too weak. His conduct is just as Raphatalia said. This world is not a game. If you keep believing that, then more people will suffer. Naofumi. Shut up. Ren. No matter how much you scream, no matter how much you regret, until the wave is over we will never be able to go back home. We were summoned selfishly by the stuck-up leaders of this world, and given the pretentious title of hero. In most worlds, that would be considered kidnapping. But if we want to do anything, if we want to change anything, then the only thing that we can do is fight. Ku. Ren. A while ago, you told me, if things get bad, you run away? You really are the worst. And look at you now. Are you aiming to become the worst of the worst? Naofumi. Well, right now I'm just taking out my anger on him. For him to continue to fight even after seeing the monster was too strong for their party. I would first test its attack power, and then create a plan from there. But this person can only fight as if this were a game. He didn't do any investigation beforehand, and placed his trust into the knowledge he heard on the internet. It's as if he was following a walkthrough. He's a coward. Has he even tried to discover anything on his own? Your game is over. Your game information is useless now. Naofumi. You're wrong. I'm not at fault. Ren. I'm not wrong. You told Raphatalia that you wouldn't forgive her. Well, now I'm going to tell you that I will never forgive you for your actions. You're now a splendid murderer. Naofumi. Quiet, shut up. Please, don't say any more, Ren. Ren has begun shaking over my continuous accusations. When a lot of people died in the plague-stricken village, he had acknowledged that he was in the wrong. He even went there to apologize. Inside, he already knows the truth. But that truth is something that he doesn't want to accept. He is unable to accept it. Even though he already understands. I understand that you did not cause any of this on purpose. However, you are still alive. If you're still alive, then isn't there something you have to do first? Naofumi. Shut up. Ren. I'll keep talking until you listen. You already get it, don't you? Don't you know what you have to do? Right now. Naofumi. Quoiet. Ren. Ren unsheaths his sword. I hold up my shield. I feel a light tap on it. Take this. Ren. Ren tries to slash at my face. I don't even try to defend myself. Bang. I hear the sound of metal colliding near my ear. Ren starts to laugh. However, his eyes widen as if he has seen something unbelievable. How did you, Ren? That sword you have equipped right now. It looks to be made from spirit turtle materials, but isn't it a bit too weak? Naofumi. I took Ren's attack head on. Of course, my defense is being greatly bolstered by the shield on my arm. But if Raphatalia had attacked me like that, I wouldn't have escaped unharmed. You thought you could take on the spirit turtle with that? Are you stupid? Naofumi. It's crazy to think someone could win at level 60 in the first place. No, perhaps if you properly strengthened all your equipment and status, and you ignored all of the casualties around you, focusing only on victory. The spirit turtle's attacks are slow, so it might be possible. Of course, that only applies if you can take out the head and heart at the same time. And from what I've seen, Ren has only been using the reinforcement methods from his own game. You didn't listen to Shadow at all, did you? Your weakness is because of Naofumi. Those were lies. There's no way the shield can be that strong. It's a cheat, a hack. Don't monopolize it. Ren. I don't want to hear that from you. Is what I want to retort, however there's a time and place for everything. Improve your swordsmanship. Your weakness is Naofumi. Che. Ren, tongue-clicking sound. Ren raises his sword high above his head. Flashing sword. Ren. The sword glows brightly and clouds my vision. You. Naofumi. He tries to slash at me a few more times, but to no effect. Ren. He screams out, and I can hear him running away. By the time my vision started to return, he was already gone. My eyes, drunk. The people in the tavern are rubbing their eyes. Don't worry, it was just bright. There should be no negative effects. Stay still for a while. It's Dangerous if you can't see anything. Naofumi. On my word, everyone calms down. I wait for my eyesight to go back to normal. They're nothing but trouble, you know. These heroes. And Ren is only on that level? I thought Ren was supposed to be the strongest, but I can't count on them at all. Raphatalia would wipe the floor with him. If he was actually trying to get strong, then he would at least be able to hurt me. But for now, he is just focused on denying his crimes. He can't even doubt the knowledge he brought from another world. And even after his comrades dies, I can't accept the current Ren. I could end his suffering now, but I'll put that train of thought on hold. It's not something to be decided so easily. And I think it will be fun to watch him suffer more. Understand my pain, you bastard. No matter what I did, I was considered evil. Now taste that living hell some more. Heaven doesn't open in just a few weeks. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 154, Independent Nature. I return to the village and relate Ren's story to Female Knight. Famo. It seems the hero of the sword is quite the spoiled brat. Female Knight. Female Knight speaks whilst cricking her fingers. It's not like I can't understand Ren's feelings, but he truly is a wimp. Relying only on otherworldly knowledge to rashly rush into battle. There should be a limit to being naive. Female Knight. Well, that pretty much sums it up. Naofumi. If you happen to catch him, turn him over to me. I'll personally make sure to re-educate him. Female Knight. He may have just overestimated himself. Naofumi. What are you saying? It's a knight's common sense to fight a battle even if victory is uncertain. Female Knight. Well, that does seem to be logical. Teaming up on a weaker individual may seem like bullying. In net games, it's common sense, but if practiced in the real world there would be a problem. You can't just wait until a stronger enemy appears, and then run away because you don't think you can win. That would really cause a lot of problems. This country may be at peace, but small skirmishes and monster infestations keep the knights vigilant. Female Knight participated on the front lines of some of the fights against the spirit turtle, so she is qualified to say this. She's quite strong. Her stats aren't as developed as Raphatalia, but she makes up for it with skill. Anyways, I'll report this matter to the Queen. I'll be out for a bit, so is there anything else you'd like from her? Female Knight. Let's see, what should we do about Rat? Naofumi. She's the person I have to be most wary of right now. She's trying to make a larger fighting force, and I've given her a bit of time. As you've requested, the shadows are watching her movements, but she's been surprisingly obedient. Female Knight. Is there any indication that she is acting secretly? Naofumi. None. Female Knight. Mew. I was prepared to act in case she did something, but it seems that isn't necessary. I thought she may have been a spy, but it seems that isn't the case. Well, occasionally, she gets into argument with the girl who tends to the caterpillars, but that matter seems trivial. Female Knight. She does that even when I'm here. Naofumi. It seems the subject of their disputes is a clashing of opinions. Naofumi. Their arguments always seem to be about the same things. Tanako believes in the natural power of the monsters to level up, adapt and get stronger, while Rat opts for the use of surgery and other methods to forcibly increase stats. And every time, Tanako brings up Fyro, who got strong on her own. And then Rat suggests a surgery to raise Fyro's intelligence, angering Tanako further. The arguments then seem to go around in circles, but it seems that each side now has a firm grasp of the other's ideologies. On some rare occasions, they would agree on a matter, and have a happy talk over it. I wonder how Rat's modifications are going. Well, I guess I should stop by. Naofumi. What should we do? Raphatalia. I'm thinking of sending the slaves to peddle independently, so go teach anyone who wants to learn the skills needed in peddling. Naofumi. I understand. Raphatalia. What about Fyro? Fyro. I'm going to Rat's place. Do you want to come with me? Naofumi. No. Fyro. Raphatalia goes and starts ordering around the villagers. Fyro ran off at an alarming rate. Well, I guess her dislike is understandable. Rat did give off a really bad first impression to her. Imaya. Naofumi. Imaya fidgets as she comes over to talk to me. What is it? Naofumi. I started learning how to make clothes from the strange person, here is my first product. Imaya. The item she handed over was a pair of gloves. The material is monster skin. The size is just right for my hands. Hiro-sama, this is so you don't get hurt when experimenting with medicine, so, Imaya. Yeah, thank you. You're quite considerate. Naofumi. They're well made. It seems the Limo really are a dexterous race. Have you gotten used to the village? Naofumi. Ah, yes. Imaya. If anything is troubling you, make sure to report it. Naofumi. Yes, Imaya. Did something happen? Naofumi. Imaya begins looking at the ground as she speaks. Can I dig a hole here? Imaya. If that will make your working environment more enjoyable, then feel free. Naofumi. Thank you very much. Imaya. She does look like a mole. I guess she felt uncomfortable in the camping plant houses. You can order around the dunes. Make it any size you want. However, make sure to think about where you dig. Naofumi. Yes. Imaya. She's a nice, obedient child. The exact opposite of Keel. Achoo, Keel, TL, it is Japanese superstition that you will feel a chill if someone talks about you behind your back. I hear Keel sneeze from a bit away. I guess coincidences are scary. And anyways, I went off to visit Rat's lab. It's quite spacious, and has 2 floors. There is something like a sports playing field inside it as well. Exactly how far can these camping plants expand? Well, if it isn't the count. What's up? Rat. I've come to check your progress. Naofumi. I find Rat in the farthest room from the entrance, staring at a monster inside of a large test tube. Somehow, the amount of test tubes she has been steadily increasing. Inside of them, various things are floating. In one of them floats a bioplant stalk. Ah, about that. The bioplant research hasn't really bared any fruit. Rat. I see. Naofumi. I think you'll have to wait a few days before you see any results. It seems it will be difficult to try to make it produce medicine. Rat. It was something that I wasn't able to do myself. I'll wait patiently. Naofumi. I don't think it's impossible. I'll work on it. Rat. I'll wait expectantly. Naofumi. Rat taps on the test tube glass, teasing the monster within it. I can't see the monster's form clearly, but it seems to be smiling in Rat's direction. What is that? Naofumi. Oh, this child. Rat. As she speaks, her eyes wander around the room. There are kids that can't do anything no matter how hard they try. Rat. Wah. Naofumi. I told you about this one before, right? The one the hero tried to kill, Rat. It survived. Naofumi. Yeah, at least a portion of its body did. For now it can only live inside this test tube, but at least it won't die soon. Rat speaks with a pained expression. And the monster in the vial extends something towards Rat as if to console her. This one was able to understand human language well. It always worked hard to be strong. Rat. You can understand it. Naofumi. For my thesis, I tried to see if monsters were able to think on the same level as humans. Rat. Naofumi. Monsters want to become strong too. And not just to survive, they want to be recognized as well. This child has an especially strong desire to do so. Rat. I see. I didn't want to be called weak, but I climbed all the way here. I can understand this one's thoughts quite well. No matter how hard it tried, this one never got any stronger. Can you guess this child's level? Rat. Around 40. Naofumi. Correct, but this one would always work itself to the ground, and I would have to heal it back up. Rat. So it's a monster she likes personally. Is this person's passion for modification based on that monster? Ah, don't misunderstand. I had always loved modification from the start. Rat. Is that so, Naofumi? I'm not getting that impression. No matter how much I research, there are still more mysteries. I've already stepped into the abyss of science, and I don't think I will be coming out. Rat. Naofumi. When I introduced myself, I told you my ideals. But I won't work on an unwilling subject. Rat. I wonder, Naofumi. I get the feeling that she is the type of person who would secretly conduct research and take action on her own accord. I'm not buying it. I told you no. Tanako. Naofumi. With a shaking voice, Tanako runs in and blocks the door from an approaching caterpillar. What are you doing? Naofumi. This caterpillar suddenly decided to visit that old lady. Tanako. Wah. Naofumi. I look towards Rat, and see her walking towards the caterpillar. As Rat approaches it, the monster calms down. The monster the count raises are quite honest. This one has a good head, and a high level of ambition. Rat. Mew. I said no. Tanako. Please let this child act as it wishes. Rat. Wrong things are wrong. Tanako. What are these two even trying to compete in? I can kinda see what this argument is about. No, I can just get the gist of what's happening. That caterpillar is getting close to Rat, and Tanako is unhappy with this. You know, the reason I do this sort of research, the reason I spent my childhood learning about the sciences and the reason I devoted my life to this work. It was so that I could give power to the children like these that came to me of their own accord. I like people to hold high expectations of me. Rat. As if I would accept such game-like logic. Is what I think, but if there's a real-life example before my eyes, I guess I have to accept it. Well, dragons and philo-reals seem to hate me though. Most monsters seem to stay away from me. But this one seems to be okay. It may be because of the Count's influence. Rat. Is that how it is? Is this the shield's influence, or did these monsters just coincidentally turn out like this? I think this is the caterpillar that Keel and friends found, so there may be other factors. This child chose its own path by itself. Rat. But, you, Tanako. Even though I say that, I don't have the funds or materials to carry out the procedures yet, so I'll put that matter on hold. Please go back home. Rat. Rat orders the caterpillar to return. And the caterpillar is reluctantly dragged back to the stable by Tanako. I think that caterpillar was the one who dragged Keel back when she got injured. Because of its actions, we were able to avert a crisis. It was supposed to be a slow monster, and yet, from what I see, if it grow naturally, it will soon hit its limit. That child still wants to become much stronger. Rat. I understand. Naofumi. I should respect the monster's right of choice as well. Though that caterpillar seems to hate me. Specifically. So it wants to become strong. Monsters have that desire as well. Fyro was born a strong monster, so she never had to worry about that. What do you do for your research, specifically? Naofumi. Let's see, there are plenty of ways to carry it out, Rat. Such as Naofumi. Monsters that can carry passengers. I tried to modify one act as a ship and swim across the ocean. When this plan got out, I was once again tried for heresy, though. Rat. In that instance, couldn't you just get an aquatic monster to pull a boat for you? Naofumi. But haven't you always dreamed of riding a monster? Rat. In old RPGs, you would sometimes be able to ride on a dragon's back and travel, but this is a bit different. Can't you just ride a flying dragon? Naofumi. TL, flying dragon is a race of dragons, not simply a dragon that flies. I hate dragons. Rat. Mew. I don't understand this person's logic. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Isn't that just your personal preference? Naofumi. Flying dragons cannot carry heavy loads. Rat. Then you could find a bigger dragon, Naofumi. I will work on anything other than dragons. I'll make a new race to replace them. Rat. She was just advocating monster right of choice, but this is the result? Did something happen to her involving dragons? No. Did her modifications take her down this route? Next, I'll make an armor-type monster. Rat. Oh. Naofumi. I heard something intriguing. I think the shield will prevent me from wearing it, but if Raphatalia or Phiro were to equip it, it may heavily bolster their defense. Taking from the concept the hero's weapon's share of a weapon that grows over time. However, I'm not getting anywhere. It's quite difficult. Rat. If she succeeds, we may be able to mass-produce heroes, but it seems the research is at a standstill. The imitation I saw before took up a ridiculously large amount of mana. If making a hero's weapon was that easy, then they wouldn't have gone to the trouble of using that. I have some leads, though. There are some monsters that take on the shape of weapons. I thought I could use the blood-sucking demon swords as reference, but that monster's sanity is quite low. It's hard to control. Rat. That seems to be an interesting idea, but it sounds expensive. Naofumi. You're right. That's why I still have a long way to go. For now, I am looking for insight in modifying the bioplant. Rat. It seems that in order for Rat to complete her research, she will need more time and money. But I don't think I can really help with it. Anyways, if there's someone you want me to cut up and modify, give me a call, Rat. Yes. Yes. Naofumi. So there hasn't been any progress. But Rat's skills are growing. The skills of the one who grants power to monsters, the Mad Alchemist. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 155, Zeltbur. As I leave Rat's lab, I notice the slave dealer's carriage parked nearby. If it isn't the hero of the shield. Slave dealer. I've been seeing him a lot lately. But I've given him the important duty of finding this village's former villagers, so I guess there's no helping it. I don't really like dealing with him, though. Did you find more slaves or something? Naofumi. No. I haven't done anything of the sort. Yes. Slave dealer. Why are you here? Go home. Naofumi. Should I throw salt at him? If he says that he came here to eat, then I'll smack him. By the way, salt isn't particularly valuable here, as we're right next to the ocean. Can I not stop by without a reason? Your treatment makes my heart race. Slave dealer. You seem to have the intention of making me into your chef. Naofumi. Ah, by the way, that was a joke. Yes. Slave dealer. Are you picking a fight? Naofumi. No, no. I came here to ask something of the hero of the shield. Slave dealer. Ask something. Naofumi. The slave dealer is raising his voice. He's trying to make it out as a big deal. I bet he's up to no good again. I need you to go to Zeltbur to buy slaves. Slave dealer. Buy slaves, Naofumi. My relative has voiced a desire to sell some of his finest slaves to you. Slave dealer. At a discount, right? Naofumi. He's offering you the best of the best. Slave dealer. That sounds expensive. Naofumi. It's not like I'm interested in purchasing expensive slaves. My main priority is to gather Raphatalia's friends. From what I've seen so far, this village's villagers are going for quite cheap. As their children, their base levels were quite low. And in terms of stats, they were well below those desired for manual labor. We will make sure that they are within a price range even you can afford. Slave dealer. Well, I do have some spare change, Naofumi. I'm earning a bit from selling the bioplant fruit, and monster materials that Keel and the others are collecting while hunting. Right now, the village has little financial difficulty. It's almost time for me to stop by the old man to stock up on weapons. The villages has also improved greatly over time. I think things will work out even if I'm absent for a bit. Even if I stop cooking for a while. The only reason I have to cook now is because everyone makes a commotion if I don't. How long will the trip take? Naofumi. Let's see. Normally, a boat would be fastest, but on your prided Philo Real's legs it should be around 3 days. Slave dealer. 3 days, even on Phiro. It must be quite far. Well, it's another country, so I guess that goes without saying. I think I heard the other heroes say that the weapons from Zeltbur were quite potent, or something. So those guys have been there already. Is that why their levels were so high? They had obtained excellent weapons? There are plenty of weapons in their possession that I know nothing about. Like the flashing sword, the thunder shooter, and the portal spear. I have no idea what weapons would give those skills. This is one thing I have to ask next I see them. Though I don't think they'll tell me. How long by boat? Naofumi. 4 days. Slave dealer. Famu, Naofumi. I glance at the villagers. Everyone is earnestly working towards reconstruction. Imaya is working with the dunes to dig a hole. Because she is a mole, it looks quite fitting. Raphatalia is lecturing on peddling, and Phiro is taking a nap. Rishia and Keel are learning swordsmanship from female knight. Other slaves who have decided to fight are getting drilled from the soldiers. I guess I can leave the village be for a week. Then I guess we should go. Naofumi. I thought you would say as such. Slave dealer. Raphatalia, Phiro, everyone else, please gather here for a second. Naofumi. I call everybody here. I'll be away for around 1 week. The people accompanying me will be Raphatalia, Phiro and Naofumi. Who should I take? I think Itsuki had been witnessed in that area. Should I take Rishia? Rishia, want to come? Naofumi. Yes. Rishia. Keel, please take care of Rishia's duties while she's away. Naofumi. Understood, Nii-chan. Keel. Don't get too carried away. Naofumi. I got it. Keel. Rishia and Keel have different ways of working. Of the two, Rishia is more skilled at raising her level. She's a bit more like a leader. I guess a jack of all trades is good at covering for the faults of a team. People like Phiro just take out enemies with powerful attacks, so nothing can really be learned from them. The one truly teaching the slaves to fight is Rishia. I'm a bit nervous leaving that spot to Keel. She can be quite rash at times. If anything happens, go to the medicine shop in the neighboring village. Otherwise, get the people who specialize in healing magic to help. Naofumi. The magic shopkeeper came here and told people what their magic specialties were, so now quite a few people have started to learn basic spells. I think nothing will happen in just a week. And, you? Naofumi. I stare at Tanako and think. Don't fight too much with rat over monsters. Naofumi. The old lady is doing mean things to them. Tanako. This girl likes monsters way too much. How exactly was she raised? I should ask her sometime. Ah, right. Keel, try hunting with rat at some point in time. Naofumi. Sure, but why? Keel. That woman incapacitated Phiro in an instant. She should have quite some skill, and she is quite knowledgeable on monsters. Naofumi. Got it. Keel. Should I report to the queen that Iwatani is going to Zeltbur? Female knight. Female knight speaks up. It's not like I'll be causing any problems. Naofumi. Understood. I'm sure the queen will permit it. We aren't on bad terms with that country. Female knight. Oh, and keep up surveillance on rat. Naofumi. Understood. Female knight. Is there anything I'm forgetting? No? Then let's go. Naofumi. And that's how, following the slave dealer's words, we set off for Zeltbur. By the way, 2 of the slave dealer's men had hooked up his carriage to ours when we weren't looking. Wow, it sure is fast. Slave dealer. Well, yeah, Naofumi. And I also feel a little sick. Yes. Slave dealer. Though he is smiling, his face is pale. Is that really something to laugh about? The men that came with the slave dealer are already vomiting. If you aren't used to it, it is near impossible to ride Phiro's carriage for long periods of time. We aren't traveling on paved roads, so the carriages are swaying. I wonder just how fast Phiro is running anyways. It's definitely fast, but... ha. This is fun. Phiro. Phiro is laughing dangerously. I hope we haven't been jinxed. Is running her instinct? And in 3 days, we crossed the border without any harm and headed into Zeltbur. It's quite a busy place. Naofumi. Business is thriving here much more so than in Melromark's castle town. It is also much more crowded. My face isn't widely known here, so no one says anything to me. What sort of country is Zeltbur? I just realized I know absolutely nothing about it. Naofumi. Then let me explain. Slave dealer. The slave dealer begins speaking with enthusiasm. Zeltbur, the country of mercenaries. Just as its name implies, this country is populated largely by mercenary organizations. Slave dealer. Well, that sounds self-evident. Naofumi. Do you know about swords for hire? Their people make money by selling their strength to others. The Adventurers Guild has deep ties to this country. This makes industries such as weapon shops and medicine shops prosper as well. It's a country in which an unbelievable amount of money circulates. Slave dealer. It sure does seem lively. Naofumi. I peer outside of the carriage. You can feel some energy from the castle town's residents, but the feeling here is overpowering. Whether it be the shopping district or the slums, the people here seem to move with more energy than those in Melromark. By the way, this country has no monarchy. It is ruled by a council of merchants. Slave dealer. Naofumi. So it's like a republic. Well, I guess a country of mercenaries wouldn't care for monarchy. All that matters is ability. This country also has a dark history involving constant warfare, so you should caution yourself. Slave dealer. I know. Naofumi. My clan has set up a base here. We are partaking in quite a profit. Slave dealer. As I thought. Naofumi. How should I say this? Yesterday I had a nightmare. I was surrounded by thousands of people that looked exactly like the slave dealer. They tried to sell me things. And the most famous attraction of the country is its Colosseum. Slave dealer. Colosseum. Naofumi. A fighting arena. TL, Colosseum is said in English. Brawlers fight against one another, and people place bets. It's this country's trademark. Perhaps the hero will want to visit as well. Slave dealer. I'll consider it. Now where are we headed? Naofumi. Get off the main road, and go down that back alley. Slave dealer. Got it. Phiro. Naofumi. We follow the slave dealer's instruction and head down a back alley. And then, from somewhere, a rope is thrown at Phiro's neck. He, that's quite a rare monster you got there. Some delinquent-esque men appear. These people don't know about Phiro? Well, I guess my wanted posters were only spread in Melromark, so they wouldn't know. Anyways, these people remind me of someone. But their fate has already been sealed. Yat. Phiro. Guha. Delinquent-esque male. The person who threw the rope carelessly approaches Phiro, only to get kicked. This sure is a barbaric country. What's with this one? Quiet down. Guha. Delinquent-esque male. It's a wild one. Quick, tie it up. Nuguguaa. Delinquent-esque male too. And Phiro bites down on idiot number 1's head. TL, she doesn't eat it, just bites it like Sadaharu. He thrashes around for a while, but finally gives up. It's a monster. Delinquent-esque male. Please save me. Delinquent-esque male. Phiro drops the delinquent, and then takes the rope off of her neck. I'd prefer them a bit more salty. Also, they don't look too healthy. Phiro. Delinquent-esque males. Phiro really looks like she will eat them. I hope she doesn't start maturing in a strange direction. Phiro, remember that humans are not food. Raphatalia. Phiro. Though she's like this, she's still a philo real. Her base mental capabilities are not that high. It's a pain. I would have preferred it if her intelligence was even lower. Phiro, when it comes to people, children are tastier. They're softer. Naofumi. Naofumi-sama, what are you teaching her? Raphatalia. In games and novels, monsters often use that line. I'll try using it here. But Phiro shakes her head violently. No. Phiro. Phiro learns faster if you bring up children. Naofumi. I'm not sure if she even learned anything or not, Raphatalia. Anyways, Phiro. It's better if you don't act like you eat people, unless we're threatening them. Naofumi. Yet. I thought I could get them to run away. Phiro. So she understood what she was doing. She's picking up things surprisingly well. It's a pain if she gets too smart, but I guess she's doing well. What was that about being salty? Naofumi. That's what I felt when I licked him. Phiro. Let's pray she hasn't gotten a taste for humans. We stop the carriage at the slave dealer's acquaintance's house. Rishia, what will you do from here? Naofumi. I want to search for Itsuki-sama. Rishia. Rishia had been silent in thought for much of the journey. So this is the conclusion she has come to. I already knew, but Rishia is still chasing after Itsuki. The other heroes have had some of their comrades captured or killed. But there is no information on Itsuki. From the beginning, there had been little information circulating about him anyways. He tried to act like a hero and work under the radar. I understand. When night falls, we'll meet up back at this carriage. Until then, you are free to act on your own. Naofumi. G got it. Rishia. What about Phiro? Phiro. I'm a little worried about Rishia traveling alone, so please follow her. Naofumi. Yes. Phiro. I leave bodyguard duties to Phiro, who is not in her human form. Rishia has gotten strong, so I don't really have to worry, but the chances of her getting wrapped up in something strange is not zero. It doesn't seem that this country keeps good public order. Also, Rishia. Naofumi. What is it? Rishia. Take off the costume. Naofumi. I know. Rishia. Though she says that, it seems she had forgotten about it up until that point. I want to believe that she had simply forgot about it, and hadn't intended on walking through town dressed like that. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 156, Fulfilled Dream. After parting with Rishia and Phiro, Raphtalia and I head to the slave dealer. At the end of the back alley we see a big coliseum. In front of this stone dome-like building are sturdy men keeping watch. Looking at the people standing in line, it seems to be quite popular. This way, please. Slave dealer. Walking to the back door, the slave dealer lightly greets the men keeping watch. The men clear the way and let us pass. This is just a coliseum on the surface. In the basement, we deal with slaves behind the scenes. Yes. Slave dealer. Ho, Naofumi. Well, in this country, most coliseums are like this. Depending on the union, the traded goods differ. Yes. Slave dealer. And what about your place? Naofumi. Needless to say, I'm mainly practicing slave trade. Slave dealer. Unrelated to humans and demi-humans. After walking a bit, we get to a staircase and go down. We can hear the cheers from above echoing. The Colosseum seems to be quite popular. Above us are mercenaries and slaves. We also have monsters in the Colosseum. Yes. Slave. Dealer. You handle quite a lot. Naofumi. Because of that, I've turned down all the other fights down on that day. There will also be an eating contest. Yes. Slave dealer. I want to let Phiro participate. Naofumi. It's worth it just to see how far that monster's appetite can go. Free food and prize money. Well. I wonder if there's a penalty for losing. That would be interesting to see. Maybe it can somehow be done. Yes. Slave dealer. The slave dealer gives a strange signal to a bulky man with his fingers. I'll just take you by your word then. It would also be good for the hero of the shield to enter the drinking contest, otherwise some would suspect that you are a fake slave dealer. To become famous here is one thing, but, Naofumi. By eating the rukuru fruit raw I should be able to win, but the moment I eat it people around me get nauseated. I don't want to eat in that situation. Also, I'm not sure to what extent I can handle alcohol. The hero of the shield gets poisoned to death because of drinking too much wouldn't be funny even as a joke. First of all, I don't really drink that much, so it shouldn't happen. And? Are we still not there yet? Naofumi. We should be almost there. Slave dealer. Saying this while leaving the staircase to a stone corridor, numerous cages become visible. There are more cages than in the tent of the slave dealer. Inside the cages are human and demi-human slaves milling about aimlessly. Inside this prison, there is a small room visible. There, a tough-looking guy and merchant are waiting. Oh. Melro Marks - slave merchant. You uncle, slave dealer. I doubt my eyes. This person is happily hugging the slave dealer in a family reunion. while the slave dealer is a strange gentleman wearing a messy tailcoat and oversized sunglasses. The slave merchant has the same build with almost the same face. The only differences are the tailcoat and the glasses. Naofumi-sama, are my eyes fooling me? Raphtalia. What a coincidence, mine are too. Naofumi. Family business is one thing, but what's up with them being this similar? Dangerous. I almost wanted to see how it would be like to have the whole family gathered together. It would be like some sort of twisted dream come true. An anime I watched had a similar family business of sisters managing treatment facilities. It was. Anyway, if they wore the same clothes, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. While we're at it, I would like to introduce the hero to my uncle. Yes. Slave dealer. Well, if this isn't the hero of the shield. What a strange expression and eyes. I'm about to fall in love. Yes. Slave merchant. Stop it. Naofumi. Ugh. I'm really getting goosebumps. I want to get away from here as soon as possible. However, to go back just like that would piss me off, so I try to keep patient and stop my feet from retreating. Your voice seems to be the kind that's good at handling slaves. I'm thrilled. Would you like to marry my daughter? Slave merchant. I try to imagine a woman that looks like the slave dealer. Give me a break, Naofumi. Right. Did you call Naofumi-sama just to say such stupid things? Raphtalia. Raphtalia responds angrily. Ah, she's looking for comrades from her village. It's understandable why she is so angry. Please get more heated up so that he stops his idiotic jokes. Ha ha ha, that was a joke. Slave merchant. Uncle is bad with people. Slave dealer. Not as bad as you. Slave merchant. The two of them laugh. Creepy. Back to the story. Naofumi. Oh, right. What kind of goods did the hero of the shield want to be offered? Slave dealer. What, straight to the point. I wanted to deepen the friendship between me and the hero a bit more. Yes. Slave merchant. That depends on uncle. Yes, slave dealer. Yes, 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 yes. How long will this question and answer play go on? It's getting really troublesome. Is it okay to leave? Fumu, since you told me that he is the kind of person you'd fall in love with, I wondered what he was like. Now I understand. Slave merchant. How could I be so charming? Naofumi. After all, I don't understand the slave dealer's sense. The reason for that is, no matter what I do, he always talks positively about it. But, on the other hand, I always have to worry about what he does behind my back. Fufufo, no matter where you go, you have this sinister air around you. Yes. Slave dealer. Am I something like the incarnation of evil? Naofumi. No, it's your quality as a slave user. It appeals to our eyes, lit for sight. Slave merchant. This person, instead of forcing his slaves to work under penalty of death, has the kind of charisma that makes his slaves fight to the death for him. Slave dealer. Big bro food. Master food. Hero of the shield food. Why did I suddenly think about feeding those guys? Is this what you call charisma? You lose the moment you begin to mind it. Fumu, if it comes to this person here, let's pretend that that story never happened. Slave dealer. What? Naofumi. No, don't mind it. Yes. Slave dealer. Did something happen? Yes. Slave merchant. Actually, slave dealer. Both slave traders start to whisper. Huh? Which one did we come here with again? Shiruru, guess that's a whisper sound. I couldn't even understand a bit. What are they talking about? I see, of course you would refuse at such a time. Yes. Slave merchant. What are you talking about? Naofumi. How about trying it? Slave merchant. Like that, it will be quite convincing. Slave dealer. Listen. Naofumi. The slave traders begin to laugh while looking at me. Stop it. Well, with that, let us head this way please. Slave merchant. The slave merchant of this country starts to guide us. We follow him just like that. What the heck did they talk about? This way please. Slave merchant. So, while being guided, we look at the cages and prisons from before. It looks like in this prison, there is a female demi-human sitting in a moldy corner. She has brown skin and quite a good face. Her body is quite big. With a large chest, you could call her an incredibly beautiful woman, right? Her face also has quite a good complexion. But, even saying this, she is not a slave that I am looking for. I'm not interested in slaves for sexual use. Naofumi. No, even among the different demi-human species, this one is quite good at battles. Slave. Merchant. Is it? Naofumi. Somehow, he begins to wave his hands with a business smile on his face. I somehow get a chill. That slave. She has the type of face that makes me want to involuntarily hit it. No, with this one, there would be a lot of problems. It's probably too expensive. I don't need it. Naofumi. The slave makes a sullen expression after my reply. No, I'll make you quite a cheap offer. Slave merchant. Even so, Naofumi. Somehow, I don't like it. Or, to put it in a better way, I don't want to make her my slave. Even as a slave, if I'm caught up in anything again later, her resemblance to bitch is too high. Do you want to take a look at the next slave? Slave merchant? Ah yes, my bad, but I have to refuse this one. Naofumi. Why? Slave. The slave yells. Did that hurt her pride? I don't understand the disgraceful behavior of this sex slave. You're just not a slave to my taste. That's all. Naofumi. Pedophile. Slave. Shout as much as you want, however, while I'm at it. I glare at the slave merchant. He quickly evades my line of sight. Pedophile. It's almost as if she knew about me ahead of time, right? Naofumi. After my reply, the slave merchant just keeps his mouth tightly closed. As I thought, there has to be a reason behind it. Even so, looking at me objectively, all the slaves I bought are children, and most of them are female. Although it's just a coincidence, it's starting to trouble me recently. Naofumi-sama? What country's language did she use there? Raphtalia. You don't know? Naofumi. Yes. Raphtalia. I almost forgot that the shield has a translation function. Since it seems that this world has multiple languages, it's quite useful that the shield seems to translate all of them. As I heard the word in Melromark's spoken language, it seems like it's a word spoken in countries with many humans. Could it be? Well, you don't have to concern yourself with it. Naofumi. Why? Why would you reject me? Slave. Like that, we continue to follow the slave merchant while ignoring that self-proclaimed slave. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 157, Purchase. Next is this one. Slave Merchant. I look into the next cage, and see another healthy-looking demi-human slave. But it's a child, a girl. The child is giving off a suspicious smile and waving her hand at me. Ah! Rejected. Naofumi. Why? Child. Of course, she objects. Even though she looks healthy, that doesn't really matter to me. Most of the slaves I bought were malnourished, and had dead eyes. Even Keel wouldn't stop shaking unless Raphtalia was nearby. Someone who's never been bought. I can't call this dreaming adventurer a slave. And I reject every slave that I am led to, and they object to my rejection. This continues for a while. I already understand these people's objectives. I glare at the slave dealer. Both of them. They are both sweating heavily. Yo! Naofumi. It's unfortunate that there is nothing here to the hero of the shield's liking. Yes. Slave dealer. Sigh. There's no choice. I didn't want to have to use this, but, Naofumi. I go towards the child slave I was shown before. Oi, what are you planning? This is the hero of the shield's orders. Resist and your country will be ruined. Naofumi. I call out in a Yakuza-like voice. I don't think I've had to use it recently. The last time I had to was with the accessory merchant. Hi. P. Papa said. Become the shield hero's bride, but the hero only trusts slaves, so to get closer to you I went to a good merchant, and, kid slave. In response to my stare, the child slave answers in fear. But as she is a small child, there's no helping it. And you're okay with that? Naofumi. Kid slave. Even though it's for your family, do you really want to become the bride of someone you don't even know? Naofumi. She's even smaller than Raphatalia when I met her. It feels unpleasant that someone wanted to use a kid this small to gain status. Anyways, just go home and tell them you were seen through. And if they aren't satisfied, tell them that the hero of the shield only takes on people who actually need help. Naofumi. It seems that quite a few slaves are here for that purpose. The slave dealers are sweating profusely. And that's how it is. I don't want any of your merchandise. Naofumi. It seems this was supposed to be a sort of marriage interview. These people were only slaves in name, and were truly the children of nobles who wanted to get closer to me. I believe that my name holds some level of power. Should I write a letter of complaint directed at your enterprise? Naofumi. I understand. Yes. I think the other side will back off. Yes. Slave merchant. As expected of the hero of the shield. You were able to see through the fake slaves in an instant. My heart is racing. Slave dealer. Stay away. Naofumi. It was blatantly obvious that they weren't slaves. Put in more effort if you want to conceal them. How deplorable, Raphatalia. Even Raphatalia is fed up. Don't think it's that easy to seduce Naofumi-sama. If he was that easy, then I wouldn't be having so much trouble. Raphatalia. What is she saying? Do you have anyone else? If you brought me here for nothing, I will get mad. Naofumi. Of course we have more. That is our main business, you know. Slave merchant. Don't try to fool me again. Naofumi. That's why I don't like involving myself with these people. Does the hero of the shield have any specifications? Slave merchant. Right now I am looking for slaves that can do skilled work. Also anyone who was from Raphatalia's village. Naofumi. I have already gathered several skilled individuals, but I need more people. We now have a medicine and clothing store, so perhaps I can get some people to learn those trades. Imaya is doing well, and I'd like a few more people like her. I see, then please step over here. Slave merchant. No lies, okay. Naofumi. Yes, I know. Slave dealer. Are you Raphatalia? Would that make your village that one that got hit in the first wave? Slave. Merchant. Yes. It may be a difficult request, but do you have anyone? Raphatalia. I have already heard from my nephew and prepared some. Please wait a second. Slave. Merchant. The slave dealers bring out some from a familiar race. So there are lemos here as well. Naofumi. We have everything to fit your needs. Slave merchant. So these are skilled slaves. There seems to be octopus demi-human among them. These individual is from the Opuscot race. They are an aquatic race of beastmen. Slave. Merchant. They look like monsters. Naofumi. It pains me to hear you say that. We also have cave race slaves prepared. Slave merchant. This one looks like a dolphin. Albeit a bipedal dolphin. There sure are quite a few types of demi-humans. In such a war-stricken country they have collected a wide variety of slaves. My village is right next to the sea, so there shouldn't be a problem. Naofumi. Then I will prepare some for you. Would you prefer to have children? Slave merchant. I don't have such a preference. As long as they can do work, there isn't a problem. Naofumi. Ah, right. There are a lot of lemos here. Please sort them out. Naofumi. Understood. Slave merchant. I look at the large group of lemos. Does anyone here know a child called Imaya? Naofumi. It would be best if they had someone familiar to help them get used to the village. So I'll try to find people who know Imaya. 'Tis a common name. Just from that, we cannot be sure. Lemo slave. I guess it is a common name. What was her full name again? Lu. I can't remember. I guess I should give up. I thought it was a good idea, but... Imaya lukulanli sela tereti queras-chan, Naofumi-sama. Raphatalia. Raphatalia casually says Imaya's real name. Just how good is her memory? Raphatalia may be more high-spec than I thought. Though she is turning into a militaristic character as of late. Where is Imaya? Limo slave. Do you know her? Naofumi. There are quite a few people here from the same village. Limo slave. Then I'll take those people. Naofumi. I understand. Yes. Slave merchant. Oi, just who are you? Limo slave. Can't you tell? I'm a simple slave user. Naofumi. I don't want to cause a commotion here. It would be a pain, so I won't say anything. So you're hiding it, Raphatalia. Is Imaya healthy? Limo slave. Yes, she is working hard in our village. Raphatalia. She answered honestly. I hope this doesn't cause any problems. I see. I can't wait to meet her again. Limo slave. For her long name to come in handy here, I guess I should pay more attention to the small details. After that, Raphatalia was able to find 3 of her fellow villagers. The first one was an orca-like beastman. Her name was apparently Sadana. I believe I heard her name when Raphatalia was talking to Keel. I can't really read her expression, her figure is large in all directions. She's not fat, she's just giant. Apparently she is average-sized for her race. Somehow, I can imagine her standing out in that village. Sadana-nichan was a fisherman. Raphatalia. Nice to meet you, I'm surprised that Raphatalia got so big. Sadana. I've heard about you, but why have you become a slave? Naofumi. Well. I could have escaped into the sea alone, but I got captured when I tried to protect the children. Sadana. So she's similar to Phiro. Anyways, can she be classified as human? Beastmen display their race traits more readily than other demi-humans. Did you stand out in the village? Naofumi. All of the villagers I've seen so far have been demi-humans. No beastmen so far. And most were of dog or cat-like races. Now that I think of it, I haven't seen any other tanukis like Raphatalia yet. Like Raphatalia's parents, I was a wanderer who only stopped by occasionally. Sadana. I see. Naofumi. So it was a village kind to strangers. It seems the previous feudal lord was supposed to be quite wise. And as such the entire region fell to ruin upon his absence. Well. I guess that's that, Naofumi. My wallet is crying. It will be difficult to purchase anything else. Thank you very much. Raphatalia. Raphatalia lowers her head towards me. Don't worry about it. You've performed duties worthy of this sort of reward. Naofumi. Truly, thanks, Raphatalia. Raphatalia firmly grasps my hand in tears. I owe her much more than just this. Then I guess it's time to go home. Naofumi. Please wait a second. Slave merchant. The slave dealer of this country stops me. What? Is there anything else? Naofumi. Before you embark on the journey back, there is a slave you must see. Slave merchant. I don't want to see any more marriage candidates. I know it's your job, but please leave it at that. Naofumi. No, not that. It's today's main attraction. Slave merchant. You do know my financial state, right? Naofumi. It's an amazing slave child, I think you will be able to put it to great use, so I'll make it cheap. Slave. Merchant. Cheap. I don't know whether the slave will be helpful or not, though. I guess looking won't hurt. I'll have to weapon copy the old man's new shield instead of buying it at this rate. I understand. Naofumi. I follow the slave dealers further while being followed closely by my new slaves. TL, Opuscot is an anagram of octopus. The Japanese is Kato, a anagram of Tako, the Japanese word for octopus. I don't know what Kaif is an anagram of, so I left is the same as the original. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 158, Medicine of the Sacred Tree. Slave dealer, here we are. I was shown a group of slaves who were kept away due to illness. They were kept in poor conditions similar to those in the tent at Melromark. Since there was no sign of their health being taken care of, their mental health also suffered. Naofumi, wait for just a moment. I gesture to a sick slave and approach the cell. Even though the slave hesitates, as I take out medicine from the shield, it is snatched instantly. There wouldn't be much loss, since the medicine is cheap. Naofumi, open your mouth. The medicine given to the first slave starts affecting the surrounding slaves due to the effect, range. Expansion, small. While the medicine was cheap, it was still able to heal the slaves since their illnesses were only superficial. Slave 1. Slave 2, no way, it's a miracle. The medicine's effect seems to have worked, as the slave's skin color gradually returns. Slave dealer, as expected of Hero of the Shield, giving strength to 6 slaves at a bargain price, instead of paying more for healthy ones. A voice of admiration was let out by the slave dealer. Naofumi, I had no intention of looking after slaves that can't be healed, since I am no saint. Show me around quickly, I told the slave dealer, while giving out medicine as needed. Slave dealer, as expected, you are truly a god of demi-humans. Naofumi, so noisy. For the sake of my mental health, I gave medicine to whoever needed it, even in this world that thrives on commercialism. Slave dealer, I think you understand. Even if I understand, even if I lose profit. Naofumi, it still feels unpleasant. The slave dealer begins skipping along. How irritating. However, at that moment, I was about to meet certain slaves. It was a fateful encounter, different than the one with Raphtalia. Slave dealer, here they are. Within the cell was a pair of demi-human siblings. The boy seemed to be around 12 years old and appears to be healthy. On the other hand, the girl is lying down in the opposite direction. It was difficult to see in the cell. The floor was covered in straw and had one blanket. The girl seems to be in a bad state. Brother, Kehu. Kehu, Yorakan, coughing sound. I took a glance at the boy whose hair color entered my sight. His hair was black and white, and with just a glance, I could grasp that he was of a higher quality than the other slaves. While his pupils were blue, a portion of his iris had vertical stripes which made me think of a cat's. The whites of his eyes gave off an intimidating look, and his savage facial expression spoke of his wild nature. His ears were thick and roundish for a cat, and his tail had impressive black and white stripes. Naofumi, seems expensive for a child. Slave dealer, as expected of a hero, who takes immediately considers price even during first impressions. Raphtalia was cheap in my opinion. Well, it's better to calculate price before performance. Naofumi, doesn't he seem unique? Slave dealer, in a way. Yes. Naofumi, compared to other demi-human slaves, there's something different about him. Slave dealer, yes, this is a famous species called the Hakuko. Naofumi, the Hakuko. Is it a white tiger subspecies? The white tiger was a powerful animal in my world with enormous physical strength. Slave dealer, the name was said to be given by the 4 heroes of ancient times. Hakuko, why was it named in a provincial accent? From Kalmara Island, I learned that all of the past heroes had horrible naming sense. Well, Phiro isn't a name that I could be proud of either. Phiro. Phirorial. Naofumi, it passes. How much will it cost? Slave dealer, would you like to see its stats? Naofumi, I don't think he's that strong, but can his level and statistics be seen? According to the document given to me, the brother's level is surprisingly high. However, his appearance is fairly young for a level 32. If he was a member of my village, he would be fairly tall by level 30. Naofumi, his level is higher than expected, but are there any racial or individual differences for this kid? Slave dealer, the reason he is still a child at this level is because his race is special. Level 60 is his race's max limit, and they can class up starting at level 50. Naofumi, so when he becomes an adult, he will get stronger. Slave dealer, that's correct. Does this kid belong to a powerful race? Although class ups are usually only possible at level 40 for even someone like Phiro, what will happen when this guy classes up? This kid sparks my interest. By the way, the younger sister is level 1. Slave dealer, the Heikoku are famous for acting against the plans of a hero called the Sage King of Melromark in the past. The example is wasted because that is a person I hold in low regard. Still, maybe he became foolish because of his power. Raphtalia, even if he's called the Sage King. Naofumi, even if that guy wasn't there, Melromark wouldn't be affected at all. Slave dealer, Well, whatever, even if you don't respect the Sage King, the Heikoku is a race that is counted among the 5 fingers of this world, a difficult feat indeed. In any case, it would be a waste to miss this opportunity of greatly increasing my war potential. If I run into an opponent with tricky defense, the Heikoku's power may be a necessary weapon in my arsenal. That's assuming of course that they truly have that much potential power. The slave dealer whispered into Naofumi's ear so that the siblings wouldn't hear. Slave dealer, although the elder brother is healthy, the younger sister suffers from a hereditary illness. She cannot see, she cannot walk, and she has a short life expectancy. However, the elder brother still cherishes the younger sister. Even if he becomes a slave, he will still try to protect his sickly younger sister like some sort of hero. Even if he was the bad guy in a manga, he would still be a popular character even if he's not the main character. Furthermore, he also has the power of the Heikoku race. I'm a little interested in this fellow. Naofumi, Slave dealer, I have a plan. You can separate the siblings while the elder brother works for you. After the younger sister dies, we can make the elder brother believe that she is hospitalized in a clinic by imitating her voice. I've heard that you have a monster that is good at mimicking voices. Yes, Was the vocal mimicry in one of my monster that good? Although I am always peddling or fighting like the other heroes. Fyro could have become a hit singer. When she's in a good mood, Fyro sing the song that the bard had just sung if we were at a bar. Slave dealer, the brother will continue to fight thinking that his sister is alive, and will keep fighting until he dies. An evil mob boss-like proposal was made. It would end up being an endless betrayal flag. That's right. Then is saving both of the siblings how to reach the good ending? Even if it was a joke, there's no need to become an enemy of the state. Naofumi, that is why a slave dealer like you can only amount to this much. Let me show you how. It's done. I gestured to the slave dealer to open the cell. Brother, what are you planning? Naofumi, whatever, just be quiet for now. I enter the cell while approaching the younger sister who lying down in the back. Brother, stop. Don't you lay a hand on Atlas. Atlas. That's a new name. In my world, it had many meanings such as a game or map. Was it ever a girl's name? The elder brother kept getting in the way, so I took out and showed him some medicine. Naofumi, I'm only going to give her medicine. Have you seen this kind of medicine before? The medicine was made using the shield. I'm not actually able to make it myself yet. It was a skill that came from the sacred tree shield of the spirit turtle. Making it was possible because of a recipe called Medicine of Miracles. Sacred Tree Shield of the Spirit Turtle 0/40C. Ability Unsealed. Equipment Bonus, Recipe, Medicine of Miracles. Unique Effect, Divine Protection of the Sacred Tree. Proficiency 0. The effects of the shield were still unknown, but it seems to have something to do with a plant. The medicine can only be made once for now. Some ointment, magic water, soul healing water and a few others ingredients were mixed together into a supernatant fluid with the toxic parts being filtered by exquisite distribution, in other words, it's sap from the sacred tree. Tons of medicine had been used up in the process of creating the Medicine of Miracles. Preparing it involved a great deal of trial and error. Trying to make it would be considered reckless by any drug store. It is so difficult to make that I barely make one, even with the power of the shield. It is an extremely valuable medicine and it goes by the name Yggdrasil. Speaking of the Yggdrasil medicine, it's the same medicine that cheerful old hag took saying that it wasn't strong enough. In the case of a game, there would be of the mega elixir class. Just how much money did that old hag think was spent for her to drink such valuable medicine? For an adventurer that was retired in the countryside, the son must have been pretty foolish to spend that much money. Does he even care? Well, in any case, the medicine is an extremely powerful one that cures most illnesses. Naofumi, I am going to be the owner of both of you. This medicine is a powerful medicine that will heal your sister. You can repay me the cost of this medicine with your life. The pharmacist told me that it had an unbelievable price according to market value. However, when it comes down to life that cannot be saved without it, people would do anything to get it. Its powerful effect has many people asking for it. Although it would end up being bought for an incredibly high price, its power of practically giving life to the dying makes it much more important to keep rather than sell. It's better to keep a strong ally alive than it is to make money, which can be done at any time. Brother. It's not a lie. Naofumi, can't you tell by its smell? The elder brother took a sniff of the medicinal smell. He soon raised his face and cried. Brother, it's Yggdrasil medicine. Naofumi, correct. Is he a dog or something? Does this place really have such excellent races? Brother, it still doesn't mean that there isn't poison in it. Naofumi, how can you be alive while suspecting all medicine? Do you suspect that all the medicine given to your sister has been poisoned too? Brother. Naofumi, I may not be trusted and I don't need to give the medicine to your sister, but isn't she in pain? Doesn't that mean anything to you? Brother. The elder brother groans regretfully. Atlas, is someone here? The girl slowly turned her head while coughing. They said that she couldn't see. She can only determine where we are by our voices. Atlas, I think, although his voice seems powerful and forceful, it is actually very gentle. Elder. Brother, how do you see it? Brother, come on, how can that be? Atlas, even though such great power is felt. Slowly, the girl turns herself towards me. The elder brother reluctantly guides her hand to approach me. I approached the girl called Atlas. How terrible! Her entire body is covered in bandages so that I couldn't even see her real face. Her skin was also covered with festering sores, so much so that it's a wonder she's even alive. Although her ears and tail were probably of the same race as her elder brother, it was difficult to say for sure. Atlas, you came for business. Naofumi, you somewhat understand. Atlas, yes, you want me to act as a hostage for my elder brother. To understand this much, and yet, her tone was of one who has given up. Atlas, owner of the gentle voice, would you please tell me your name? Naofumi, Naofumi. Atlas, Naofumi. Her pronunciation was excellent, as she was the first one to say my name correctly. Atlas, Naofumi, if you can, please cherish my elder brother. Brother, Atlas. What are you trying to say? Probably, she knew about her situation but wanted to ask for just this one small request. Naofumi, unfortunately, I have no intention of listening to that request. Atlas, is that so? Naofumi, since I'm going to be taking care of you as well. I'm sure you know what this medicine is. Atlas, this is. Although she tried to say more, Atlas just nodded to my words while drinking the Yggdrasil medicine given to her. The elder brother clenched his fist, but was stopped by Atlas without being able to complain. Atlas, N. Atlas drank the medicine obediently. A strange and exceedingly expansive light from the medicine effect was emitted. Is it because of the sacred tree shield of the spirit turtle? It's obvious that the shield clearly affects the power of medicine. It would not be funny if its effects have risen even further. Atlas Fuyu. Fuyu. The medicine was effective and her breathing has become quiet. Atlas, hat. My body feels much lighter. Brother, Atlas. Atlas, the back of my body feels warm and my skin is itchy. Naofumi, the medicine is effective, but since it takes time to fully work, you'll need to sleep. Obediently. Atlas, yes, but I'm not used to this. Thank you. I stood up and left the cell. Naofumi, now then what is your name? The elder brother hides his face while staring at me. Naofumi, I see. Atlas? What a bad place this is to sleep. Brother, it's full. Naofumi, I see, well, now you're my slave. As you can see, the medicine has worked. Full, fine. It seems the medicine was real. I'll work off the cost of it. Full answers reluctantly. Even after I helped him, this is what I get. It seems that Full is a considerable siskin. Naofumi, so you admit that it worked. Furu, maybe, but I'll never hand over my younger sister to you. Raphtalia, what is that? It seems that the younger sister liking Naofumi has sparked his jealousy. Full, what? No. It's different. For this woman to say such a rude thing. Full bellowed and pointed at Raphtalia. It's normal for this kid to not know his place. When he arrives at my village, I will give him proper Spartan training. I am looking forward to his growth. The Yggdrasil medicine is the medicine that cured that grandma. If it can heal that old lady, it should be able to cure this younger sister. If the younger sister can be cured, my military power will be greatly increased. You could even say that the price of the medicine was worth it. Raphtalia, it's okay, Naofumi is not a bad person. Raphtalia shows a small smile to Foal. Naofumi, I'll perform the slave registration later. Slave dealer, as you request. In this way, I opted for the siblings' purchase. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 159, Perfect Hidden Justice. I apply my blood to the slave sealing ink and leave the rest to the slave dealers. Don't register something else with it like last time. Naofumi. I already understand. Slave dealer. I'll file a complaint if I get another random slave mixed in. Now then, while the registration happens, you will have free time, so why not check the Colosseum? Upstairs? Yes. Slave merchant. Fine. Naofumi. On the slave merchant's orders, the slave dealer begins to lead me towards the Colosseum. And, with nothing else to do, we follow him. According to the slave dealer, today they are holding free matches. Anyone can enter if they want money. The spectators bet on who will win, and many will lose all of their money. We get out of the dungeon area, and begin climbing some stairs. The crowd is quite large. Naofumi. The matches have yet to start, and the reception desk is quite lively. The atmosphere is like that of a baseball stadium. For my uncle's work, I will be drawing in customers. Yes. Slave dealer. This place seems to have a lot of money circulating around. Naofumi. Hiro-sama should participate as well. Slave dealer. And why would I do that? Naofumi. I can only defend, so how the hell am I supposed to win? There are also team games. I'm sure you will be a popular competitor. Slave dealer. I'll consider it based on the rewards. Naofumi. I might be able to make a bit of money here. If Raphtalia and Phiro fight with me, I don't see how we could lose. Another Colosseum we manage has special events for monsters. Yes. Perhaps you may be interested in entering your Philo Real there. Slave dealer. If Tanako or Rat heard of that, they'd throw a fit. They're both against the exploitation of monsters. Having Phiro fight for money doesn't sound bad though. I'll consider it. Naofumi. I'll wait for a favorable response. Yes. Slave dealer. The slave dealer leads us to some spectator seats reserved for him. The seats are right above the competitor waiting room. We can see the entire stadium from here. There are quite a few people with evil eyes. Quite a few of them look very muscular. And there I witnessed something I hadn't been expecting. Ayatsuki. Naofumi. Mixed in with the other contestants is, without a doubt, Itsuki. I get up and head down towards the field. Is something wrong? Yes. Slave dealer. Yet. Naofumi. I tell the slave dealer that I saw the hero of the bow among the contestants. Here, anyone can enter the games, so it's not odd for a hero to participate. Yes. Slave dealer. Don't they have to register themselves? Naofumi. Participants can register under any name they wish. Slave dealer. What is he registered as? Naofumi. I read out the number printed on Itsuki's chest. Slave dealer. The slave dealer receives a list from a muscular man with a sack over his head. That number, 982. That person seems to be registered under Perfect Hidden Justice. Slave dealer. I thought I would fall over. So jokes really can make people fall over. Perfect Hidden Justice? What sort of bad joke is that? Not even someone with Chuyunibyo would use that one. TL, the imagination begins to explosively develop in the 8th grade. Doesn't he feel embarrassed? Even I'm feeling embarrassed here. Can you arrange to talk with him? Naofumi. Yes, my authority will allow it. Slave dealer. The slave merchant gives orders to his subordinates, and we are led to the contestant waiting room. Oi! Been a while. Naofumi. I call out to Itsuki. I could have called Rishia, but I wouldn't be able to talk to him after the game started. I'll find her later. Right, everyone, Itsuki. Oi. Naofumi. Yes, everyone's looking at me, yes. Everyone, looks at me, Itsuki. Listen when someone's talking to you. Naofumi. Itsuki continues to mumble something to himself. I can't really tell what he's saying. I hear a gong-like sound from the center of the Colosseum. I'm a hero of justice. Itsuki. My words don't even register to him. Itsuki follows the other competitors and leaves the room. The hell is up with him? Naofumi. It's as if he didn't even notice me. Well. I looked into that competitor, but he seems to visit a Colosseum every day. Yes. Slave. Dealer. Is that so? Naofumi. Yes. He has made himself known in this country as a mysterious archer. He has been recorded to become ecstatic when he hears applause. Slave dealer. Did something happen? Naofumi. His desire for praise had always been strong, but now he sounds like a mental patient. What could have drawn him down to that level? I can kinda imagine what his experience with the turtle must have been like. Shadow. Naofumi. Let's see if she's here. This is gender neutral in Japanese, but it seems public consensus is that Shadow is female. What is it, Gojiru? Shadow. She really appeared. The ride on the hero of the shield's carriage was terrible, Gojiru. Shadow. If I worry about it I won't get anywhere. I won't confront her on the matter. Why were you unable to locate Itsuki when he's in such plain sight? Naofumi. The hero of the bow has a habit of concealing himself, so there was little information on his appearance and location being circulated, Gojiru. Shadow. Well, that's true. The heroes have changeable weapons, and common faces. If they change to a common weapon, then they are unidentifiable from the rest. Though he still uses a bow, I guess he is smart enough not to change it in battle. Do you think you can capture him here? Naofumi. The queen has given an order to keep tabs on him, but to wait until an order is given. That hero is good at running and hiding, Gojiru. Shadow. Well, that's true, can you continue following him? Naofumi. I'll do that, Gojiru. However, our personnel has decreased from that time with the spirit turtle. I cannot call for reinforcements. Shadow. Understood. Right. Naofumi. I turn to Raphatalia. Raphatalia, should we report this to Rishia? Naofumi. No. Absolutely not. If Rishia sees the hero of the bow acting like that, she'll develop a mental trauma. Raphatalia. I see, Naofumi. He seems to have become mentally crippled, fighting in the Colosseum only for praise. If Rishia met Itsuki like that, there's no telling what will happen. There's a possibility she will continue trying to talk to him and perhaps snap and stab him? He really says, and I don't know what will result. I can only see bad endings to that scenario. And where are his comrades? Anyways, I'll start my investigation, Gojiru. Shadow. If you find anything out, please report it to me. Naofumi. Understood, Gojiru. Shadow. Now then, what should we do about Rishia? Naofumi. I'll meet up with her, and keep her away, so please, keep it a secret. Raphatalia. Understood, leave it to you. Naofumi. I use the slave system to track down Rishia. It gives me a general idea of her location. I can't use it to find people who aren't in my party, and I can't use it to find people who are too far away. It seems she's in the plaza south of here. I'll leave it to you, Raphatalia. Naofumi. Understood. I'll definitely keep her away. Raphatalia. Raphatalia runs off. Those two do get along quite well. Anyways. I wonder what happened to him. Naofumi. About that, Gojiru. We have some witness testimonies from the soldiers from the Spirit Turtle village. Shadow. You should have brought that up sooner. Naofumi. Even though I say that, it's information you probably already inferred. Apparently the order in which the seal statues were destroyed was first, the hero of the bow, second, the hero of the spear, third, the hero of the sword, Gojiru. Shadow. I see, Naofumi. Ren's story did give off the feeling that the turtle awakened almost immediately after he destroyed the statue. The hero of the bow was the first one to cause a commotion, and all of his companions were with him, or so it was recorded. Gojuru. Shadow. What do you mean? Naofumi. The hero of the bow destroyed a statue half a day before the other two. After that, taking advantage of the commotion, numerous treasure hunters began plundering the nearby ruins, causing mass confusion. The hero of the spear used the chaos to enter a temple and break a statue, and almost immediately following him the hero of the sword destroyed one as well. Gojuru. Shadow. So Itsuki and friends were apprehended after they first broke a statue, and had this action recorded by the area's soldiers. Naofumi. And after a while, the spirit turtle awakened just as the hero of the bow testified. Gojuru. In a panic, the guards released him so he could go fight it. Gojuru. Shadow. And after that he went missing. Something must have caused the time lag in the spirit turtle's awakening. That kid is a mass of half-assed justice. What could have caused him to have to break laws with his justice? So the reason Ren and Elena were able to enter so easily was because of the chaos caused by Itsuki's group. The game starts, and I watch Itsuki fight. I thought that a long-range weapon would make the match unfair, but the playing field was a narrow maze where one would be unable to build up distance. He was at a disadvantage. But Itsuki is easily able to win. So he's at least stronger than the average fighter. But his eyes look strange. Whenever the crowd gets louder, he raises both of his arms in the air and shouts out. Is that really Itsuki? The Itsuki I know is just a bit more mature. He was a relatively docile hypocrite. I haven't talked to him yet, so the cause is still a mystery. Though I'm not sure if he'll actually say anything. I guess I should at least try. Read The Rising of the Shield Hero Chapter 160, Return to the Village. After Itsuki's game ended, the Colosseum continued to host other events, but I didn't feel like watching. I heard that the weapon shops here had a wide variety. I'm going to go check them out. Naofumi. Should I show you around? Yes. Slave dealer. Yeah. I'll leave it to you. Naofumi. It's quite a bustling city. I think that it will be easy to get lost. Then, you there, please lead him around. Slave dealer. A large muscular man raises his hand to announce his presence. I follow him and arrive at the biggest market area in the city. It reminds me of a mall from the other world. Well. If it isn't the hero of the shield. Accessory merchant. I don't know you. Naofumi. The accessory merchant beckons to me from a nearby store. I act oblivious. This is one of the stores I manage. I'd definitely like to show off some of my wares. Accessory merchant. So it's his own store. I can see some rubus on sale. If I keep ignoring him here, I may come to regret it later. I take a deep sigh and enter the store. You have quite a big store here. Naofumi. Yes, is there anything you are particularly looking for? Accessory merchant. I'm looking for weapons and armor. Naofumi. Then you will want the second floor. Are you certain you have no interest in the accessories on the first floor? Accessory merchant. I scan the store's interior. Sparkling gems are displayed in multiple cases and hung all over the walls. It's too bright. I'm not interested. Naofumi. By the way, is Hiro-sama still using the techniques I taught you? You can't make good equipment if you let your skills dull. Accessory merchant. I use them occasionally. Naofumi. I've made some accessories for the slaves out of monster materials. Most of them now wear items made of monster bone. The bone makes for quite potent accessories, giving numerous bonus effects. They also deteriorate slowly. The downside is that they don't grant much stat boosts. Here, though it may look rough. Naofumi. I hand over an accessory I had randomly made in my free time. Wow! A bone accessory. Accessory merchant. Is something wrong? Naofumi. What are you saying? The materials used to make it may be cheap, but the bonuses it grants will make it sell high among adventurers. Accessory merchant. It's definitely cheap, but I've been practicing my design skills. Naofumi. Obviously. By the way, is it true that you've recently acquired a large amount of land? accessory merchant. If you want to set up a store there, then just go over. Naofumi. I still have contracts here, you know. Accessory merchant. The accessory merchant's eyes shine with an evil light as he says this. I hesitate before proceeding. Anyone would. Anyways, if you come over, make sure not to interfere with reconstruction. Naofumi. I know. Fufufo, accessory merchant. Why is it that all the merchants I meet seem evil? How goes the selling of the Marika accessories? Naofumi. They're quite popular. After all, a great calamity did just occur. Even average civilians have begun training to protect themselves. Accessory merchant. So his profit has increased. Well, I'm going off to check the weapon selection. Naofumi. I look forwards to our next meeting. Accessory merchant. Yes, yes. Naofumi. It enervates me dealing with this type of merchant. I think as I proceed to the second floor. Weapons are displayed everywhere like in an exhibition. There are also various articles of clothing. There are some familiar weapons, such as the meteor iron sword and the meteor iron lance. They're on sale for a bargain price. Oh! There's also spirit turtle armor here. The variety here isn't much different from Melromark. And the price is exponentially higher. Well, I guess the price of imports are higher than they are in their original country. I look around for shields, but I don't see many that I haven't seen at the old man's shop. Well, there are a few unfamiliar shields. I guess I'll try touching one. Ah, can I try equipping this shield for a second? Naofumi. Go ahead. Store clerk. With the clerk's consent, I lift up the unfamiliar shield. Weapon copy activates. Spike shield, frisbee shield, jewel shield, platinum shield. I copy all of the weapons unfamiliar to me. I wonder how powerful these new additions are. I haven't really been fighting as of late. My stats are still affected by the curse. I remember the old man saying that spirit turtle materials were hard to work with, but that seems to be true. In this large store, I don't see any weapons made of the material. Naofumi. I notice an item marked as not for sale. It's a single-edged sword. With a glance, I can tell it is made for spirit turtle parts. I try to appraise it. Spirit turtle sword. Quality. It's no good. My appraisal level isn't high enough to get any info. But I can see that it is quite skillfully made. It's even being kept from sale. Perhaps it shall be put up for auction in the near future. So there really are skilled craftsmen in this world. However, as I have no money, it doesn't really concern me. I'll tell the old man about it later. And so I stayed a little longer, then left. You're already back, Rishia. As I return, I see Rishia waiting at our meeting spot with a depressed expression. I need to get the slaves I bought to the village. I don't have any money for an inn for them all. Naofumi. I could just leave them at the slave merchant's place and pick them up later, or I could send them back with Phiro, but I don't want to risk Rishia finding Itsuki, so it's probably best to leave early. Raphatalia is comforting Rishia while sweating profusely. Hey, why is Raphatalia Oni-chan, Phiro? Quiet, bird. Naofumi. Phiro stares at Raphatalia and enters Inquisition mode, but I use her slave seal to stop her. Mew. Phiro. Phiro tries to raise a complaint, but I keep her quiet. If things go wrong here, Rishia will develop a mental trauma. Her mental breakdown flag has been raised for a while, but I don't want it to go off now. After Itsuki is able to collect himself some more, I can let Rishia deal with him. I'm a little hesitant letting them meet. For moral reasons. Rishia seems to hold a fantasy-like image of Itsuki. I think their personalities will prevent them from making up. That won't help Rishia's motivation at all. But I guess I'll at least ask. Rishia. Naofumi. What is it? Rishia. You want to become strong so that Itsuki recognizes you, correct? Naofumi. Yes. Rishia. Then you'll still work to become stronger from here on out. Naofumi. Yes. I still have a long way to go. I want to get strong enough to fight alongside Itsuki-sama. Rishia. And that's why I can't let them meet now. For Itsuki's sake and for Rishia's sake. though I only really care about the latter. If they meet now, both of them will only suffer. And so we all keep silent and turn our backs to Rishia. We load the new slaves onto the carriage, and prepare set off. There are now 3 carriages connected to Phiro. And she is having more fun than ever. The slave dealer apparently has business in Zeltberg, so he stayed behind. There's no need for us to return together. He seems to have taken a strange liking to me, but I don't really enjoy his company. I look at the slaves on the carriage I'm in. It's quite cramped. We've split them between the carriages to make the trip easier, but Sadhana is too big, just her alone. Takes up much of the carriage's space. Hey, you're too big. Could you possibly get there alone by sea? Naofumi. Naofumi-sama. Raphatalia. Raphatalia seems mad. Her reaction is justified, however Sadhana really is in the way. She's too big to fit in a carriage. I could send her by foot, but would she be able to keep up with Phiro's legs? That's not possible. Is having her go by sea that cruel? That sounds good. Sadhana. And Sadhana happily accepts my proposal. I was half joking, you know. Really? Naofumi. It's much easier than walking on land, and if I use underwater currents, it will also be faster. Sadhana. Will you be able to deal with sea monsters on your own? Naofumi. Don't underestimate me. Sadhana. I think her level was, in the 40s. Even with a discount, she was quite expensive. Understood, then I'll leave it to you. Naofumi. Yes. I can't wait to see everyone. Sadhana. She says as she jumps into a river by herself. Zeltberg is close to the ocean, she'll probably make it just fine. Sadhana Nichan is really strong, you know. Raphatalia. Raphatalia seems proud of the village slaves we found this time. It doesn't seem Sadhana had as many signs of abuse as the others. Onichan helped protect us. Raphatalia. Naofumi. Is it because she was older? Her stats aren't particularly high, but I guess she is skillful. The village's children probably relied on her quite a bit. I see. Foal. Foal watches Sadhana as she disappears into the water. Can he sense her will? He places a jug of water next to Atlas, who is lying on the floor. Thank you, Ani-sama. Atlas. Don't worry about it. Is your health getting any better? Foal. Yes. Most of the pain is gone. Atlas. That's good. Foal. Naofumi-sama, when will we leave? Atlas. TL, note, everyone pronounces Naofumi's name phonetically, but Atlas says it with the kanji. Atlas directs a question towards me. She can't see, so I'm a little concerned. Yeah, we'll depart soon. Naofumi. Understood. Atlas. I think it's best if you took some more medicine. Naofumi. I change my shield to the sacred tree shield, and hand all of the Yggdrasil medicine I have left to Atlas. Perhaps it will improve her condition further. Thank you, Atlas. Don't worry about it. Naofumi. I direct a condescending glare at Foal. Gununu, Foal, TL, grumbling sound. He seems conflicted. Well, I'll have him work hard to pay off the medicine costs. It was expensive, so he better be prepared for hell. Naofumi-sama, Atlas. Atlas grasps my hand. Please get along with my brother. Atlas. We're not fighting. Right. Foal. Foal approaches me amiably and puts his arm around my shoulders. What's with his feigned friendliness? If you think we're friends, you're wrong. You too, Ani-sama. Get along with this nice person. Atlas. I know. Foal. That's good. Atlas. Atlas seems tired. Even though the medicine is working, she's still sick. I'm getting a little tired. Atlas. Then rest. Our village is a bit far. And our carriage's bird is a terrible driver. It's best to rest now. Naofumi. Your carriage's bird? She must be, that person with a strong aura like Naofumi-sama. Atlas. Atlas points in Phiro's direction. Though she's blind, it seems she can sense some things. What's up, master? Phiro. Our new slave, Atlas, is blind, but she could tell that you were strong. Naofumi. Ehehe, Phiro has been praised. Phiro. That person is very energetic and has a lot of innocence. I can tell that she has been raised by Naofumi-sama's kindness. Atlas. Yet. Phiro. Phiro puffs up her chest and answers. Kindness? When have I ever been kind to anyone? What is this person saying? I'll ignore it. Anyways, we have a sick patient here, so sudden accelerations are banned. Naofumi. Yes, Phiro. And Atlas, if you're sleepy then go to sleep. Let Foal endure the ride by himself. Naofumi. Ah. Atlas. Foal glares at me with rebellious eyes. It's of no concern to me. The coupling of the carriages is complete. We leave Zeltberg in the darkness of the night.